Alright, so today I'm going to be installing a Cork handle. I've got a MHX, it's an MB843, which is a medium heavy fast action rod. So one of the first things we'll need to do is clean up our parts. I was out earlier today and shaped the corks and made sure everything fit and everything. So got all the dust on it. We're going to wipe down a little bit of the cork and make sure and wipe down the real seat pretty good. And if y'all end up wanting me to do a video of actually putting the cork together and shaping it, just let me know. I mean, there's really not much to it, and I don't have anything fancy. I pretty much made my own little cork lathe. I just used a regular corded drill, made me up a little jig to hold it, and got me a, I think it's a 1/4 or 3/8 round steel stock, cut it down, and I use tape for an arbor, and just slide it on after I get it fitted to the rod, depending on what rod I'm doing. I go ahead and ream it out, and I use my hand reamers, and once I get it done, I go ahead and put it on there and shape it up. So I use denatured alcohol. We'll get everything. We need to wipe down the rod blank and wipe down the real seat. And after we're done, we'll end up using denatured alcohol to wipe off some glue or the epoxy that pops out. Now, I do fit my cork in there, and what I like to do, which I'm pretty sure you're not going to be able to see it, like say if you want me to do a video of actually shaping your cork, I can show more detail of that. But I actually put a V groove right up where, close to where it's going to seat to the real seat. And I always try to look at things, you know, people have issues with, you know, the butt coming off. I do the same thing with that. I put a V groove on that as well. You know, they talk about it popping off. I try to think of ways to keep the most adhesive surfaces that I can to keep it from happening. So I do V grooves around, and once that's in there, that just gives that more spot for that epoxy to lock into it. And then once it locks into either the butt or the real seat itself, it just has more to lock in, and it just keeps it from popping out. I mean, I haven't had any issues with it, but you know, I'm just like a lot of you guys. I'm a weekender. If I'm lucky, I'll get to go during the week. If nothing's going on, it just kind of depends. So I don't do a lot of fishing, but I do what I can. You know, and it's just like building these rods. You know, I don't build a lot of them. I build mainly for myself. This one is actually for a guy at work. He's had me build one for his son for his birthday. So I'm actually going to do another video on this one for sure on marbling. We're going to do a little marbling in between the split grip, which will help me out a little bit because of the reel we're using is a little heavier than the ones that I normally use, and it's a little tip heavy. It's not going to make a whole lot of difference, but I want it to be balanced pretty well. You know, I don't want them to have to fight, especially being a custom rod that they're getting, have to fight it. So Okay, So all that's cleaned up. Next thing, I already took the sticker off. Like I said, this is an MB843 stickers right there, and this is an MHX. And we'll this denatured alcohol pulls the rest of that sticker off if it wasn't already dried out. And we're also going to use denatured alcohol for our surfaces where our cork will be going. Now, even though I don't, and I do have marks on there, one of the first things you're going to have to do is find the spline, which I'd already done that, so I've got my marks on there. This is going to be a bait caster, so the spline was actually on the back side, turned it 180 degrees, and I marked that, which is going to be for the bait caster. Now, if you're doing a spin reel, you won't have to. Once you find a spline, you mark it, and there's where you're going to build your guides off of. So, like I said, it's a bait caster. I've already got it marked. We're going to go ahead and wipe off all the oils, dust, because I had this out in the shop when I was doing the cork as well. So, get all the dust off, oils off. I've cleaned my hands. And the way I do these, I always do my butt. Since there's not that much on there, it is going to be a little loose, but I do it from the bottom side so we can do it last. So the first thing we're going to have to do is we'll put the rear grip on, and you definitely want to make sure you do this one right. So we're going to go ahead, get it set, and it's going to go on fairly easy. So, alright, we'll get that one. Next will be the rear seat, foregrip, and then we'll do the butt. Now, all I use is styrofoam plates. Most of the time I can reuse my stick. And you're just going to do equal parts. You got resin and hardener. And we're going to do equal parts. Just kind of spread it out. Try to get the same height, same diameter. Go ahead and get quite a bit of it. Be generous with it. When I'm building my corks, I don't worry about getting so much because you're just putting a thin coating on them. So you don't use very much epoxy at all. But when I'm putting on the cork on the rod blank and the reel seat, I want as much as possible. Sometimes I may even have to go in and add more to it. We'll just have to see how it goes. But and yeah, I'm a little bit red. We've been playing out in the pool, and I think the chlorine and sun has gotten to me a little bit. And I got water in my ear, so can't hardly hear. Alright. It's pretty close. Got a little gob going that way, but so now let's go ahead and put these up. Now you just want to mix these up really good. I like to try to get them as flat as possible, work from the other side so you can put them all together. And then I like to flatten them out, smoothen them out. That way you can get all of it together. And just make sure you get it all consistent. You want the same color all the way through. If you have some spots that look more white or more yellowy, just try to get the color consistency, and that'll let you know that you've got it pretty good and mixed up. And like I said, when just kind of ball it all up, and then I like to take and smooth it out and just flatten it out. And just make sure you get all of it. I haven't had much problems out of this. It does give you pretty good working time. So I mean, we got plenty of time to get all of this put on. Now, this one, I went a little extra on it. Normally, you want to be able to snug it down, but I'm also going to be doing a thread wrap. I'm not doing winding checks or anything, but I'm going to do a thread wrap build up in the corners. So, but this is also going to allow us to get some more epoxy on there. And now I made a mark where the end of the reel seat's going to go. So this is going to be covering it up just a little bit. So what I'm going to do is I'll go down, and we could actually, we know it's going to stop right there. You're going to go up just a little bit, and maybe just a little extra. And then we'll take our white, the China marker, and we'll just make a mark right behind it. So once we're there, we know we should be good. And then we'll go ahead and move it about the distance of that. And there we are, right at the end of where the reel seat's supposed to stop. So like I say, it's going to be about right in there is where the edge of it's going to be. So we know it's going to be in these two areas. We'll go up just a little bit above it, because no matter what, our reel seat's going to be in there, so it's okay if we get extra on there. But just put a nice coating all the way around the blank. And it's going to be a little loose, just slightly, so it gives us more room to add a little more to it. And I wouldn't go all the way down, because you are going to squeegee some down, but it's okay. That's what the denatured alcohol's for. Now I'll go ahead and slide that down to find my mark. And I want to find right there. And we're going to rotate it. Fill all the voids up you can. Go all the way down to it, and then we're going to pull it away, spin it, and then back down. About right there. And then we'll take our rag, denatured alcohol. Okay. And then we can grab this stick. We'll go ahead and pull off the big amount of it. That. Okay. And then take our denatured alcohol and go ahead and wipe that off before it gets to drying while we got the time. Like I said, you got plenty of time. I've never had any issues of it trying to set up on me while I've done this, and I've been able to clean it up. And I don't clean it up 100% right now. I'll go back after it's all completed. Like that. Now for the reel seat. that on. Now right there is where it starts getting snug, so we're going to go ahead and get the epoxy on that. Now inside that rear seat there's splines. So even though it's fitting snug on there, you've got, looks like to be 1/8 of an inch, 3/16 of splines going all the way around it. So the more you can put in there, it may not squeegee you out, and it's fine because it's locking around the splines and on the blank. So it's not going to twist or come loose. Now, here, got to fly. We can put this up to the edge here because that's going to be where it comes up to the rear seat. We're going to fill that in pretty good, and a lot of this is going to squeegee down to that as well. So we're just going to fill that up, and then also we're going to put in here because that's where the rear seat's going to rest on it, and it's going to come out. But remember, we put that V groove in there to help give it some more to lock in. Okay, I think we got it. Now, got your mark, stick it straight up. Okay, and then squeegee that as well. And right there, because this is an exposed blank rear seat. And we'll go ahead and clean that up real quick. And then put it on our foregrip. You can see there's a gap in there, so it should pack in there, but I like to go ahead and try to force some down in there. After I get it spread around, I'll just kind of use the end of it and just kind of pack it in. Because foregrip's just going to basically butt up to that, so you want a little extra down inside of it. and it's going to come out. Go ahead and take that down because we're going to wipe that down. All right. Now, go ahead and pull it down. As soon as it gets in that epoxy, it's going to lubricate it, pull it down. Go ahead and pull off the excess. See, you don't have to rush yourself. I mean, it's still plenty of time to work this stuff. I don't know, I think this is the regular, it's not the 5-minute. So I want to say it's like 15 minutes, 12 or 15 minutes. That's been way more than what I've needed. Okay. That's what it's doing. Looks pretty good right there. Now we'll wipe everything down and then I'll do the butt. You can be generous with it. It ain't gonna hurt nothing. Wipe it all down, get all the stickies off of it because I've got sticky on my hands, so I know it's getting on everywhere it shouldn't be getting onto it. Plus you can see it. I'll wipe it off there. Bit down inside. Okay, I think we're ready for the butt. wipe it later because I'm sure I'll get some on here in a minute. Okay. Slide that on. Put a little bit back here. Go back over it. We'll go right to the edge. Pull the excess off. And put it right to there. Put it down in that groove. Got a pretty good sized groove in this one. Give it plenty of space to get in there. Fill that groove up. We're going to put it all over the side of it. I don't know if you can see where the groove's out. I'm just packing it in there. So it's got a lot more surface to adhere to. That should work. Put a dab of it just in the middle, just so it can push up inside the broad blank. Like I say, I like to get every bit of surface I can get to give me more of a bond, the better I feel about it. Just like that. We'll pull off all the extras. Go ahead and use another one. Might get in trouble if I put that on there. I don't need to be getting in trouble. I stay in enough trouble. Pretty much now all we got is clean up and we'll be done. I like to go back and after I'm done cleaning up, I like to go back and I'll tape it. Some people clamp them. I mean, you don't need a lot of pressure to it. Obviously, it's not going anywhere. I've already got the cork glued together. There's a lot. I mean, there's some that build the cork like I did, and then mount them to the rod blank. There's some that'll put it all together while it's on a rod blank and turn it on a rod blank. Since like I said, I use a corded drill, So doing it on the rod blank is pretty much not an option for me. This is the easiest way I found, unless I start getting into something crazy, is the only way I'm not going to be able to do it that way. But as of right now, I've made this work. So I'm just going to keep with it until it comes to the point to where it's not going to work, and I'll figure something else out and I'll let you guys know about it. So maybe it'll help you guys out. And looks like it turned on us. Okay. The hardest part that I've found on doing this is this exposed reel seat. I've noticed it's really hard to get that epoxy out because there's a line there and it seems like it just keeps coming out even after you're done. I'm going to wipe over all of this real quick. Make sure we got everything. It's easier to do it now than after it gets set up. I mean, it's still doable to make it clean, but it does get a little more difficult. Just like in these little grooves. Okay. Are you kidding me? Don't take much to spin on, that's for sure. Okay. I need to hurry and get it taped. You know, the only time you get into difficult times of doing this stuff is when you want to do it on camera. I've never had this much trouble. Good. Still on there. Oh, that looks good. Like I said, the exposed reel seat's the worst part, so I'll go over it a few times. And these threads. Ooh. There's what you get. And then I'll put a little tape to lock everything together. Put it on the reel seat to the cork and the cork to the rod blank. And like I say, you don't have to have a lot of pressure. It's just going to be a little bit of pressure. And I'll just allow it to kind of stay together and won't try to separate on you. that's it. Like I said, tomorrow I'll pull everything off, clean everything up with what last little bit I've got to do. If there's any kind of fine sanding I need to do, smoothing everything up. But that's all there is to it. As long as you don't have a camera in front of you, it should go pretty smooth. Like I say, if you want me to do a video of actually shaping the cork on my corded drill, or putting it together and shaping it, it is a 2-day process because I put all my cork together, epoxy it all together, put it in my clamp, and then the next day I'll take it all out, and then I'll go out to the shop and shape it however I want it. And it just kind of depends on, you know, who it is, or I try to think of doing it to fit your hand so it feels good. So like I say, I like it, hopefully he'll like it, and have fun, go catch some fish, and we'll see you next time.